Okay, my audio keeps chopping up on me. Let's see if that's an app glitch. I think it's just an app glitch. Okay, that is annoying as hell and needs to stop. Oh my goodness, it seems like it's been forever since I've been in this seat streaming, and it has. So let me get myself woke up good and get in here with y'all. And let's do some painting today. And I'm sorry I'm craning around my monitor because I'm trying to get to some of my room lighting controls to adjust. There we go. Oh no, we don't want to do an update right now. Remind me later. We do not update ahead of streams, and we don't update in the middle of streams unless it's a dire emergency. Alright, I've got a bunch of stuff printed that I need to be painting on and haven't been streaming either. You know, the holidays are a bear, and did a little travel to Philly for PAX, and just in general have not been very motivated to get on here. So, but I figure I'm off this week. It's time to get on here and do some streaming. So that means I'm back, bitches, and y'all gonna have to put up with me. Okay. Except the first tube of paint I have tried to open up is wanting to be difficult. There we go. I see paint on the paper clip, so I must have reached, there we go, some liquid at some point. I have got some Mudmen here that we are going to give them some glowing green eyes. And if I can remember what paint color I used to paint their asses, I've got some touch-up work that needs to be done as well. So we're going to do both and try to get them worked on today. Hey, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Especially since I've been offline for like a month. To hear that sound made me jump. Let me get another brush out here. And let's get some touch-up work done on who needs it here. Actually, he's looking good and ready to have his green highlights done. Sit him over there to dry. I think my desktop audio from Sirenscape is cutting in and out, so I love technical glitches when I'm trying to stream, but we're not going to let it stop us. We're going to do some painting. Technology be damned today. I've got another handful of these little handsome little mud balls out on the back deck on the picnic table that I have primed today, that they will get painted next. So, alright, let's set this aside and let's dot some eyes. Now these are some very basic elemental creatures, so I didn't get crazy with them with the details. I just wanted them to have a kind of like a chilling effect when the players encounter them. So for that reason, we have these hollow green eyes staring at us. And I like it. So we are going to get their eyes dotted and try not to make a mess like I just did. The risk of sticking paintbrushes in my mouth while I'm doing things is that I'm going to look down at some point and paint my shirt instead of what I'm working on. Note to self, quit wearing shirts you like when you're streaming and painting at the same time. I've ruined more damn shirts that way. Give them creepy glowing eyes. I've also got some bats that need some detail work, and some boars and some ravens. I've also got a giant badger sitting here on my desk. These all need a little bit of touch up today. So we're going to touch all them up and then hopefully move on to some new business today. After our 5 creepy little mud men. So I actually got the idea for the Mudmen because, believe it or not, I have not seen these in stock D&D. I got the idea for these from a David Eddings novel, the Belgariad series, where the party is attacked by these Mudmen type creatures that were basically enchanted creations created with a snake as the base for the creature. Now, I don't have such a fun backstory for these guys, other than they are magically created, but it gives me something to think about and work with. Okay, so I have a flock of ravens, and I've got some beaks and talons underneath them. Let's pull the base off of this and see. And, excuse me, there's a husky hair on there that's going to aggravate me. So I want to touch the beaks and the talons with the same color. Um, what do we want to do? Are we going to be able to get to the raven's eyes? Hell no, that is way too small. I would need a pinprick for a paintbrush to try to dot eyes. Okay, so we ain't going to worry about that. What about these boars? They need a little bit of gray on them. And then they're going to need their tusk colors. But I think I can get some eye in here. And I like this bright green because it's a good contrast against the black or the darker colors. Plus, not every creature in D&D needs glowing red eyes. Although it is fun sometimes. Got to have a little bit of variety. Pardon me, there's a husky hair there. These have been sitting on a plastic tray on the floor of my office. And of course, the dogs are in and out of my office all day long, hence the husky hair. It's a fact of life when you live with huskies, you're going to live with husky hair. We just consider it glitter to our clothing and accessorize with it, and don't worry about it. So, I've got some ivory that I want to do the tusks on these creatures with. And of course, I sit down the stream and somebody starts to blow up my phone texting me, and they're going to have to wait because we are online and live. Okay, I've got a giant boar here. It's going to be a little bit easier to do the detail on this one, but those are her piglets. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. We got to give Mama some tusks. Tusk color. And probably some red in the mouth. Okay. What about the bats? I almost want to say the bats have to have red eyes, but we're not going to worry about that coloration right now. Let's do this. Let's get some black out because I've got some touch up to do on all of these black creatures. Shake it good. Move my mouse a little bit out of the way. We got a little bit of black debris dried in the nozzle of this one, so we want to get that out of the way. And I squeeze way too much. That's okay, we got plenty of stuff out here to paint today, so we will make it work. I'm gonna need this gray later, so we're just gonna set it aside. Okay, I don't need like a super fine brush for the touch-up work that needs to be done, but I can see it. The edges of some of these bats. So it is Christmas Eve worldwide, and I am excited for Christmas just because I, enjoy my time with family. Had my first Christmas with my oldest son, youngest son, and my daughter Saturday, and had a blast with those kids. And then tomorrow is just going to be us. Well, I might be able to talk my mom into coming to visit. We'll see. She's a bit of a homebody at her age and doesn't like to get out much, except to go to the stores and whatnot. So I cater to that, I guess, and off we go. All right, so that I think will touch up all the black. My beaver tail, the only reason my beaver is up on my desk is because I dropped him the other day and chipped a piece, or chipped the end of his tail. So we're going to touch his tail up and put him aside. And we're probably going to put some wash on him just to give him a little extra color. So, okay. Let's just move him aside, not worry about him for right now. Throw that brush into clean. All right. Ravens, ravens, ravens. We want to do claws and beaks. At a minimum, claws. Talons, I guess we call them in birds, right? So, are we going with yellow? I think I might go with this Fire Newt Orange. Is more of a claw color or talon color for birds of prey. And since their talons are so small to begin with, because it is a flock of ravens. I know a flock of crows is called a murder. What is a flock of ravens called? A flock of Karens is called a homeowners association. Okay, I'll stop. My twisted sense of humor kicking in. Since I got some overspray with the black, I'm going to jump a container here. Let's see. Do I have anybody else that I need to dot some really bright green eyes for? I've got fairy dragon sitting here. You know what? I'm excited to paint this fairy dragon. He's going to be outrageously pink and purple and every shade in between. A group of ravens is called a flock. Well, so is a group of chickens. Isn't that a flock of well, you have a flock of sheep. So, okay, so it's just the generic term flock for ravens. Thank you. All right. Give them some green eye dots. Oh, can I see the eyes of these bats? I can see the ears. Do we want to give the bats some pink in their ears? I'm of the mindset to say yes. I am looking around for a pink. We have pixie dust pink. Okay. For the bats, yeah, I really don't like either one of these pinks. The pixie dust is too bright of a pink, and the flump pink is too dull of a pink. Maybe I mix. I'm also looking on my shelf to see what my other options are. You know what? We're going to use the duller pink. And do some bat's ears. Which is going to need a really short, fine brush for my big fucking clumsy hands to paint with. There goes my desktop audio chopping out again. I thought it had quit for a while. And we just got black on the wing, so we will have to fix that. Oh, goodness gracious. So I put up a set of shelves up above the door because the room and the ceiling line in this room slopes towards the peak, the ridge line of the house, right? So the front wall is, you know, 7 foot, but the back wall is like 9 above the door. So that gave me some space to put some shelves above the door and kind of extend over, and that gives me some reclamation of lost space for putting miniatures up. So, because God knows I've got miniatures everywhere. All right, do my pigs need some ear dots? Mama pig is big enough that I can see the inside of her ears. There we go. That gives her a little bit of color. Anything else I want to do with the pink in this batch? Not particular. Well, not this pink. Not with the fairy dragon. Absolutely not. Alright. I don't think I need the green anymore. But let's get to work on some talons for these hawks. Grab the finest, smallest, pointiest brush I have. Mudmen can move aside. Although I see a couple touch-up spots that need to be worked. And then try to get these guys some talons here. Just to give them a little bit more detail than they have, you know? And then that gives us that. Now let's see, I got some in the folds that are going to be fun to get to. Do I want to try to do beaks? I mean, it's just, we're talking about just putting a dot on them, realistically. Let's touch a few and see, huh? Yeah, I think I'm going to touch beaks a little bit, at least on the ones that are plainly visible. Which isn't very many, but it's at least a little bit more detailed than it has otherwise. Okay. Yes, I'm OCD about this kind of stuff. Sorry. And unkindness. I like the unkindness better. Sorry, I've been focusing downwards on the paint instead of upwards on the chat. An unkindness of ravens. Got it. Alright. Does anybody up? Yep. I see another beak sticking out here. These guys almost need some wash on their wings just to give them a little bit more depth. Okay. I got a little black on a wingtip that I need to touch. Bear with me while I doctor an overpaint. Okay. Feel comfortable with those. The bats. I think the bat's eyes need to be red, just because most bats' eyes are red in most shows you see. That says it's a contrast. I should have another red here. What are my options on the shelf? That says that red is described as glistening blood. Might be a good color for bat's eyes. And you know what? I see a spot I missed, or that I overpainted while doing the bat, one of the bats. So fix it and move on. Okay. We had sat the glistening blood down so that we could grab the brush and fix that black blob. Okay. Fine point. You know, I only have so many fine point paintbrushes, and then shit gets crazy, so... I'm thinking for the bone structure, their wings, we might do an offset color. Just to give them a little more detail. I guess I'm really OCD about this because I have a general thought of, hey, you want at least 4 different colors on a mini you paint. Otherwise, you're not painting. That's kind of my opinion of the situation. Okay, I've got some gray here. I got plenty of black in that tray too, so I know what I'm going to do here is the Raven stand needs to be okay. Got it. All right, let's get some gray and do some wing detail. Let's see what we got. I almost feel like it needs to be a darker gray than that, but we're going to roll with it. Okay, I feel that gives them a little bit more detail. Definitely what I like to see when I am painting. I have the painting skills of a kindergartner. I will not deny it, but I enjoy it. It's relaxing. And it's better than showing up at a table with a passel of just printed, unpainted miniatures. Although in a pinch, I will do that. If I don't have time to paint anything before a session and it's a mini I need to print, I will show up with a unpainted Filthy Savage. Not very often I do that, but it has happened. Not gonna deny it. Okay, getting a little bit of it in here, little by little. Okay. Una más, por favor. All right. Bats are done. Birds are done. Mudmen are done. Piggies need some tusks and some teeth and a little less husky hair. Mama needs some tusks and some teeth. Let's get some red in those mouths. And then we can move on to tusks. Since I've still got some fresh red paint here. Hey, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Just hanging out and painting some miniatures today. Just kind of relaxing before Christmas Day. Get these mouths colored in a little bit and then do their tusks. Let me see, that did good. Okay. Okay. I think I'm going to take a little bit of my gray and do the tufts of their tails in a little bit of gray, just to get a little bit of variety in there. It looks like I'm going to have to clean some brushes here in a minute. Where did his tail go? I have a tailless boar. It must have... Oh. Honestly, I have 3 tailless boars. Oh, the finer stuff of printing that gets broke off when you're trying to remove the supports. Sometimes the cutters are a benefit, sometimes they're not. It is what it is. That I can create a backstory as to why that piglet has no tail. He lost it in a hunting accident. I know, that's so cliche. Okay. I'm going to, since I only have 2 piglets with tails, the mama and the piglet, 1 piglet. Give her a little bit of color. And give he who has a surviving tail also a little bit of color. And then let's get those tusks done. I'm going to need a super fine brush for the tusk on the piglets. Oh my goodness. I am looking for my dark ivory. Oh, that's white. Not quite what I'm looking for. Peering across the table at all this stuff you have piled up here. I thought it was in a larger bottle like this. That's tan flesh. Close, but not quite. You know what we have here? We have some Citadel Wraith bone that is close enough to an ivory that will work. Let's shake that up good. Pardon me while I twitch a little bit to get it done. Okay. Let's see how many small fine point brushes do I have left. Okay, that one is so ate up it needs to go in the garbage. Here we go. Let's get some tusks painted, shall we? Wow, I just totally ham-fisted that tusk, didn't I? Yeah, we will come back with some paint and fix that. Fix that black around his mouth. Same for that one. That's fixable. Just a little bit over paint is not going to kill me. He doesn't even have tusks, so he must be a little brother. Nor does he. Okay, let's do Mama's tusks, shall we? Of course, this could be Daddy's tusks, too. All right. Well, we've got at least 4 colors on that one, so I consider that a moderate success. Let's touch up some of the surrounding flesh back to the black base color for that one that I overpainted. Those two, I should say. So let's get that back out. Okay. One little piggy fixed. Two little piggies fixed. Okay. So that takes care of the boars. Hopefully I am not boring y'all to death. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move some of this off of the workspace to give me room to work on new business. So let me take a real quick gander at these mud men. See if there's any place that does need some touch up. And that answer is a resounding yes. And then I'm going to move them out of my way. Okay. So the Gorilla Glue is very difficult to paint on if you get too much paint on an object. So I'm going to have to find a better way to do this that doesn't involve using Gorilla Glue on anything I paint. I guess it's going to be the less is more approach to gluing. We'll see. I'm going to back up and out of the way for just a second to move some things to my other desk. I'm thoroughly surprised we've not had any Huskies in the room tonight. Usually when I am painting, they are all over the place in this room trying to aggravate me. Wanting attention. But I think because it's later in the afternoon instead of in the evening when I normally stream, they are still partaking of their afternoon siestas. So I have been relatively unmolested this evening. I don't know how to take that. I feel neglected. Okay. Mama boar, or daddy boar, whichever the case may be. and some piglets. My miniature collection has grown outrageously. Now let me see if this support is dry enough that I can, yes, I can touch and move. Let's stick the ravens on their support. You see the ravens? It's an unkindness or a flock of ravens. Okay. I have a undead beholder type creature here in my retinue that needs a little bit of touch up, and then we're going to get him out of the way. We're probably going to need the paperclip on this one. Nope. Okay, I only need a touch of this. Speaking of the paperclip, it's looking pretty beat up these days. Probably time to retire it as well. Okay. So we're going to move him off the field now. And that takes care of old business. Now we can start on some new business tonight. So, we've got our fairy dragon, which is very detailed. A swarm of something or others. Some saber-tooths. 2 beholders, 2 smaller beholders, 1 ginormous beholder, a leviathan, some rhinos, which, you know, for these rhinos, I think we're going to do eyes and horns and call it a day. So let's get these rhinos out of the way. Okay, so for these horns, I'm going to leave the body the base gray. We're going to paint the horns, do the eyes. Matter of fact, let's get the super fine out and do the eyes now. Okay. That looks like a cartoon rhino. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, for the horns, really, can I draw a line in that mouth? I should have with that brush. I think I'm going to use my Payne's Gray, which is like a really deep grayish blue. I am looking for it as I speak. It's hiding back there behind my microphone. I try not to paint myself because then I track paint everywhere I touch by getting paint on myself. It's a messy job, but somebody's got to do it, kind of thing. Now this is a model I bought off of eBay, supposedly ready to paint. I normally like to prime things before I paint them. But when you say ready to paint, that implies I don't need to prime. We will be the judge of that during the course of this stream, whether such is the case or not. Huh. Could do a little pink in the ears on these guys too. Just to give them a little more color, a little more detail. And I think I will, because my kindergarten eyeballs that I put on them. So we'll toss a little pink in the ears. See what we can do about that. Alright, we've still got that pink here. It's probably started to dry out. So strike fast. I am almost completely out of fine pointed brushes at this point. We'll try this one and hope it's not a, bad choice. Believe it or not, this rhino looks like it's armored. So we may have to do some extra detail work on him. To bring him to life. These other two, I'm not sure what I'm going to do about them yet. Let's take a look at this armored fellow. Around his horn and then his forehead, I'm picturing some silver color, maybe some mithril. But how well is it going to show up on the color he is? We're going to experiment real quick and find out the answer to this question. Hey Drexus, how you doing? I'm just hanging out and painting minis for the first time in a hot minute, so hadn't been streaming a lot because I've been busy with other things, and it's like, okay, I need to get my hours in, so here I am on Christmas Eve doing some painting. All right. For this armor, I prefer a short, narrow brush, but it looks like I'm going to have to clean some brushes. All right, let's see how this is going to turn out. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is there's going to come some more Payne's Gray underneath that. But I'm trying to suss out the details of this armor. Woof! Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness gracious. We are getting into some small places with this brush, and I don't feel comfortable with this brush getting into small places. But so far so good. I will keep going until I make a serious mistake, and then we will break out the cleaning supplies. Okay. And there's my first mistake, but it's a very minor one. So we will come back and clean that up. Alright, he has some armor. Alright, I'm content with the rhinos, at least the other two. They are very basic creatures, basic prints. We're going to put them aside. Let's move him to here because we may touch him some more in a little bit. I think now I would like to focus on the fairy dragons for a little while. Try to get some of the bulk details on them fleshed out. Like the fact that they are sitting on lily pads. We'll get some bright green leaves in here and do that. Let me look at... We also have an adult Remoraz here that I am fortunate enough to have a pre-painted young Remoraz floating around here somewhere. So here's the adult. Where is the youngin'? Where's the youngin' that's pre-painted? Oh, geez. Hiding on my desk in plain sight. It's so crowded. So here is a pre-painted Remoraz. It's like a metallic blue, like a really pale metallic blue with yellow spikes and crazy green eyes. I'm not exactly thrilled with this color scheme, so we're gonna think on that. But let's pull these fairy dragons forward. Let's push him back. The roast I have in the slow cooker is smelling delicious because I am smelling it, and now my stomach is growling. Alright, fairy dragons. We're going to do their wings. And then we will figure out their bodies and their petals and their trim work. Alright, so for their wings, where is that other pink that I was looking at earlier? That's the flump. I don't want the flump pink. I want the pixie dust pink. We painting this bitch up. Alright, I'm about to get crazy, so to speak, with this paint. That is like a super pink, and I have no complaints about it. At least not for something that comes from the Feywild. Let's see. This brush. Let's get them wings. Okay, so I'm going to come back and do the outer structure of the wing in a purple or lavender color. But I want the wing itself to be this pixie dust pink. And that's the reason you see me only doing the interior of the wing and not the outer, the leading edge. Now, I'm also seeing some designs in these wings, so I'm going to have to come back later after this dries with an acrylic marker and detail those lines to make them pop, because otherwise they're just going to be the same color as the rest of the wing. And that stuff is so detailed and small that you can't really do it with a brush. I have learned through experimentation that acrylic markers can do that. And so I will come at it with the acrylic markers after it dries. That'll be step 2 detailing kind of thing. Alright, so his wings, or her wings, are now nice and pink. We're going to lay that one down. I printed 2 of these, and yes, I printed these. So I've given the 3D printer a break. I need to change the FEP film in it, which is a pain in the ass to do. So I'm like, the printer's taking a break so that I can focus on painting. Although I did just sign up for a 3D print of the month type club called Loot Studios today. And they give you access to some stuff that they do every month. For December, they did Draconians. And now, since certain D&D names and characters are copyrighted, they can't call it what it is. But they have a 5-headed dragon, Empress. I think it's called Is It or something like that. That is obviously a knockoff of Tiamat, the 5-headed dragon in the Forgotten Realms, or the D&D multiverse. So yes, I signed up just to get access to freaking Tiamat today. And I will be printing that in the near future. Probably going to have to order more resin first, but that will have to all wait till after Christmas. Friday night D&D games at the Grove have been going good. We've taken a couple weeks off for the holidays. But that group is moving right along, and we are having a blast. They are now at 4th level, getting really crazy close to leveling up to 5th level. However, they are now in the main story arc. We started out with a one-shot, and I dovetailed the one-shot into an actual story arc. So now they are trying to figure out what's going on, why all these creatures are moving north. So what they've encountered is goblins and gnolls and bugbears and orcs all moving north in large numbers. They don't know why yet. They're going to have to ferret that out, as well as see what else is going on. Okay, so I want some purple for the wing leads. Let's see if I want any more pink. I'm debating what color the body of the dragon is going to be. I want a really lightish blue color. So I'm going to have to look into my paint depot here and see what we have that will do the trick. But we're going to go ahead and work those wing edges. Let me see what I want to do for the body. This is too bright. This is, what's it, Steely Cobalt? I think we'll use Steely Cobalt for the body. But okay, so quit squirreling, Brian, and focus on the fact that you want to do the wings now. So I need a lavenderish color. That is Illithid or Mind Flayer skin, but it is the perfect purple for something in the Feywild. Y'all pardon me, I'm going to have to break out another paint tray real quick. And we are soon to need a new paper clip for opening clogged paint tubes. Whoa! Too much paint! Too much paint! It's all good. We shall make it work. Gently and carefully. My short brush options seem to be a little short, haha. Let's see. I don't want anybody that's frazzled and frayed. Here we go. It's a little longer than I want it to be, but it's narrow. And I think it'll work for doing these leading wing edges. Dog's going out on the back deck. I'm like, what? What is my camera's tripping about for? Okay, let's get the back edge, or the back side of the leading edge, I guess is the proper terminology here, of this wing. roof. We got some obstacles in the way. And I think there's a piece of debris plastic in here that needs to come out. I know there is now because I see it wiggling. Wow. We're painting extra plastic tonight. Okay. We're going to have to doctor that wing a little bit, but it's all good. Okay. Getting the edges done. And trying not to bleed into the pink paint too much. Okay. I am liking his wings. Her wings. Its wings. Take your pick. Let's work the body. And then I can detail out some of the ridges. So, let's push that one aside. Duplicate our effort on this one. I am about to have to get more of this color paint out. Oh, here comes my first Husky visitor of the evening. Hey, mamas. What you doing? Huh? What you doing, girly? What you doing, huh? Come to check on your daddy because you haven't seen him in hours? Or coming to tattle on something her brothers have done? That's the more likable, more plausible explanation of what she's doing right now. Hi, Rocky. No bumping my arm, baby. I'm painting. Rocky's the one that will come in and violently headbutt your hand off of your computer mouse if he wants attention. Needless to say, I've always thought it was cute, and I've always nuzzled on him and giving him attention. But now when I'm painting and he does it, I want to strangle him. So I have created my own worst nightmare. And it is what it is. Hey, girly. What you doing? Okay, got to get this side's leading edge done. And I'm almost out of this purple paint, and because I'm so close to finished, I don't want to put more paint in my pot. So we are trying to power through. Okay, that wing is done, front and back. There are going to be some cleanups needed. First, I'm going to clean up my hand because I just got paint on me. I believe we're probably going to need to take a short break here in a minute and clean some brushes. Let me see what I think. Is this paint open? This paint is not open. You know what? I think the Southern Bluebell is probably going to be a better color for this body than the Steely Cobalt, because it's a lighter blue. The Steely Blue, I'm not 100% behind it. And that is way more paint than I'm going to need. Let's take a look at body. Body. Okay, that's almost an ice blue in this instance. But it is a usable blue for a fey creature. So I'm going to let it ride. Now I have already done the eyes on this creature, so I'm trying not to be excessive with my paint and ruin the eyes that I've already painted. But we shall see how that turns out. Okay. Let that dry. I like that color. I think that's going to turn out really well. I did use that coloration for my Winter Wolves stippling pattern. And so, like I said, it does look like an ice. But we are going to go with it. And see how it turns out. We're going to set him aside and focus on her. Excuse the gendering. And see what we can do to get her done up. Now, and I just did one of the eyes in that I did earlier, and now I'm aggravated with myself. It happens, though. Okay. We're going to set that aside and let that dry. All right. Where are we going to focus our attention for a little while that heavy coat dries? Tell you what, I'm going to hit pause on the stream, take a short break to go clean some brushes. And so we'll say 5-minute stream break right now so that I can get that done. And I will be right back. Let's see. Alright, so let me get the video restored here. So while the fairy dragon dries, I'm going to lay down the base coat for the adult Remoraz here. And we're going to do him in an ethereal blue. As you can see, I have a young Remoraz here. The ethereal blue is a little darker. My thesis is going to be, or theory is going to be, that their coats darken as they age. We're running with that and letting it go. And let's get some blue out here. Get the paint off my finger that I just put on. Cleaning the nozzle of that bottle. And let's get him going. I need a big fat brush. Alright, we're going to go with this one. We're going to just go nuts getting this ethereal blue on him. These things are kind of terrifying because they live under the ice and they will come tunneling up to, when they sense movement or tremors in the ice, they will come tunneling up to eat you. So in my mind, I'm seeing the creature in the Star Trek reboot with Chris Pine on the ice, except this thing comes tunneling up from underneath him to try to eat him. Absolutely terrifying. I love it. Hey, girlie. I hear you coming up behind me panting. Oh, it's a little bit. I thought it was Carmen. Hey, Rocky. What you doing, baby? Are you telling me that that roast in that kitchen smells good, huh? I cooked a roast yesterday, but we hadn't eaten on it yet, so I heated it up again in the crock pot and all today. And that's what they are smelling in this kitchen. And truthfully, probably after getting this guy painted, I'm going to call it quits and go eat because I'm hungry, because I've been smelling it all evening. I need to find a movie to watch tonight because it is Christmas Eve. I was binge watching Designated Survivor on Netflix, which I enjoyed tremendously, the series, when it was on TV. But when Netflix took it over, they killed it pretty quick. I mean, 10 episodes? I think they could have done better for season 3. Too many unanswered questions, too many unfinished storylines. And being a DM, I do not like unfinished storylines. So now I've got to find something else to binge watch. You know, for a while I was doing Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder, and I tabled those because, you know, other things going on in life and trying to keep up with it. But now I'm thinking maybe I'll go back and finish those series. I am off this week, so I have the time to do some binge watching. Our big Christmas has already came and went on Saturday with my family, with the 3 of my 4 children. So I've got one more to go. Well, and realistically, he stopped and picked up his gifts yesterday, so technically that Christmas is done too, but I think he's coming back for dinner tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. I need to text him here in a bit and see. I'm cooking a ham with all the trimmings for Christmas, because I do like to cook for holidays. It's just something my parents and grandparents always did. Um, well, I say grandparents. On my mom's side. My mom's side always cooked a holiday meal. So my dad's side, not so much. But, you know, that's okay. My aunt and uncle on my dad's side always did a big holiday spread because they always had a lot of folks over, including my dad, so, and grandfather, paternal grandfather, so I can't say nobody on that side of the family cooks because that would be patently untrue. It's just hard missing family during the holidays, you know? Okay, so I've got a hold of the one place I can hold on to while I'm painting him. So this is definitely going to be a multi-part painting project to get this big gargantuan monstrosity done. And I can pretty much predict I'm going to destroy a brush in the process. Let's hope not, but it's looking that way. And I am loving the ethereal blue on him. It looks just slightly off from the metallic color of the youth. Okay, need some more of that paint. I also need to get some off my hand that I blobbed on there. Oh, Lord have mercy. Where did I put that color? Right here. Okay. Okay, so on the young, the legs and everything and the body are all the same color. But that bothers me because I like detail. And to me, the legs need to be an offset of this color. I mean, I can do to the first joint in the legs this color. But after that, my brain is saying mix it up a little bit, give him some different coloration. And that is what we are going to do. Now I need to get this tail done. I am running out of spaces to hold on to this thing at that aren't covered in wet paint. Well, I think it's about time to wrap it up for the night once I get this base coat finished. Okay. Let's get in here. All right, just a touch more. And then we can do the rest of this the next time I stream, which will probably be Might be Christmas Day, might be the day after. Let's get as much of this done, get this base coat done today as we can, so that come the next painting session, we are focusing on the details and not the bulk painting. Okay. I am running out of hold on places, so when I'm out, I'm out. It's time to stop. Does my watch say it's raining? I thought I heard some thunder a little while ago. Okay, those antennae are going to come out a different color. Whoops. Right into the blue paint my thumb went, which means we are now officially out of places to grab a hold of this monstrosity with. So I think I will just set it here and do the top piece as best I can without touching it or moving it. And then that will wrap our stream for the night at almost 2 hours. It'll be 2 hours by the time I finish this. So let's get it done. And that way, next time I stream, we can work on the details of this beastie and wrap it up and move on to other creatures on my desk. I've got creatures on my desk to deal with. I've got creatures on the kitchen table, the picnic table in the backyard, on the back deck, I mean, not in the backyard, out in the weather. The back deck's covered. And then I've got a couple of trays full of creatures here in the room with me. So I want to get as much done as I can while I'm on break. Because once work resumes, by the time you get home from a day's work, you don't always feel like painting, let alone streaming and painting. So let's get this done up as much as we can. I can spin him around here, I think, safely. All right. I think that wraps our adult Remoraz, the base coat. Next stream, we will fine detail him and get him looking a lot sharper. Finish him out. Here's the young Remoraz by comparison. You know what? Before we call it an evening, let's get the petals of my dragon fairies done. Because they are close to the point where they can just be detailed out and done as well. So I'm thinking, let's knock it off, get it done, and then we'll wrap stream till next time. If y'all will bear with me a little bit longer. I'm going to get some really bright green out for those lily pad petals underneath that fairy dragon. And then let's move some folks back. I don't know what I can and can't grab on this model yet that's dry versus wet, so... I think the wings will be dry enough that I can touch them. And by the feel of some of the paint, I might be mistaken. So we're going to be careful here. And then the center of these petals, there will be some flowering to address. Let's just move this around gently. I see my audio is up to its tricks where the Sirenscape music is wanting to cut in and out. I'm going to have to do some troubleshooting of that and see what the hell that's about. The songs are all downloaded, so it's not like it's a buffering issue with the interwebs. That's just annoying as hell. Okay. Fairy dragon flower petals are painted. We will do the flowering next time after that dries. And then I'm thinking this is what, a swarm of snakes here in front of me. We're going to do these in black and call them a wrap as well. Or is that Payne's Gray that I just dabbed on there? I think that's Payne's Gray, but you know what? That's good. Let's do these snakes in some different colors. just for kicks and giggles. What, girl? What are you coming in here huffing for, huh? Do you need somebody to play with you? Hmm? Yeah, that's also telling me it's time to wrap the stream up to go play with dogs a little bit. Alright, folks. Well, that will be an evening. And I will see you all either late Christmas Day or very possibly the day after. I'm going to do a few things while we are wrapping up and winding down for the evening. All right, one horse. Two horses. There we go. Making some serious progress tonight in the 11th hour. Just doing some touches. Just doing some touches. All right. It's not the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, but it's 4 horses. All right, let me clean up. I need to get another white because this one has dried out. Get some paint off of my hands. Okay. Just because I have a little bit of paint left wet, and I don't like wasting paint because I don't own a wet palette yet. I'm going to get a wet palette one of these days, but the damn things are hard to catch on Amazon when they're in stock. So, let's see. Can I get a hoof or two detailed? Okay. Alright, folks. That's a wrap. I've got the 4 horses touched. I've got the fairy dragons touched. And the remoras touched. So it's going to be, next stream's going to be detail out the fairy dragons and the remoras. The horses are going to go away. The snakes will get done. And that will be another batch of minis off my desk. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight. I will see you all again in a day or so. And until then, have a Merry Christmas. Be safe. And I will see y'all soon.